nation, this next battle is 3 5-minute rounds in a catch weight of 80 kilograms. Introducing your first warrior. Fighting out of the blue corner. This man's a mixed martial artist with a professional record of 12 wins and 4 losses. He stands 173 centimeters tall and weighs a ready 78 kilograms. Representing Gladiator Hurkev Gym and fighting out of the Ukraine by way of Azerbaijan. Please welcome Vagif Askarov. And introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. This man's a mixed martial artist with a professional record of 15 wins and 3 losses. He stands 178 centimeters tall and weighs a ready 80 kilograms. Representing Sport Club Ilas and fighting out of Bishkek, Kyrgyzstan. Please welcome Abdisalam Uulu Omuk Kubanychbek.
Big respect to this man, and it is on.
Abdisalam pointed to the middle of the cage during the introduction from the Roaring Lion as if to say, this is where we will meet, this is where I want you, and here he goes. As we say, 9 wins by KO or TKO, has dynamite in his hands, completely separated João Paulo Rodriguez from his senses in his last outing. Aesthetically looks to be the much bigger man.
Vagif Phil is a very fast fighter. He cannot match power for power with Omak, however. Vagif needs a little bit more space behind him. He needs a little space to back up if necessary, or that's what happens.
Spinning back fist attempt. Abdisalam began his career with 3 straight submission wins, and that was in January of 2016, but since then has fallen in love with the striking. As we say, accrued 9 wins via KO or TKO.
Incredible single attempt by Vagif. Ho! Superman attempt off the cage into a low double.
And now Abdisalam trying to get the hooks in, has one hook in. Into the side control position, and he seems to be happy here just to push down on the knee of Vagif and perhaps transition, but good work from Askarov to try and get that guard back.
Vagif has now closed that guard. He's got an overhook in the arm. He probably is going to try and control his opponent's head now. At that point, he can start to work to take the back, to sweep, to wait for a stand-up, to throw some strikes. But the first order of business is keeping himself safe. Thus far, he has accomplished exactly that.
Just trying to roll that wrist out, trying to get away from that grip. It needs to be wary of the elevation of the hips. Askarov looked as if he was going for an armbar on the wrong side there. And right now you may just see Abdisalam posture up and try and get off some strikes.
Phil, we've seen Omak in positions before where it appeared that he might be getting submitted, but he's got a brilliant sense of the centimeters that leave him at a point of safety or a point of danger. He really always keeps himself safe.
Askarov has that knee shield. He's trying to get onto a hip. He's trying to shrimp out, but as a result, he had some nasty elbows there. Again, Abdisalam just trying to free his wrists and then land some ground and pound.
Omak may be looking to attack the ribs for a while now. Head's well covered. Vagif doing an excellent job of covering that head.
May try and switch for
choke coming.
May try and switch for the darts. Has the bicep grip. May roll onto his shoulder and try and hook a leg. Abandons it. Didn't quite feel comfortable with it. May see Askarov try and roll out of this position.
Phil, I've seen Vagif move very explosively. Maybe setting up a victory roll at this point, maybe trying to explode to standing.
Hook in by Abdisalam. Second hook in, may flatten out his guy, and from here it could be the rear naked choke, but transitions into the mount. Some well-placed strikes. That's a huge elbow. Just cutting through the guard right now.
Larkin is watching carefully.
That's huge ground and pound. Gives up the back again. Huge
Decky's
strikes.
Talking to the fighter. Decky needs to see intelligent defense from Vagif Askarov.
And the mouthpiece is out.
Big
That's
shots
the
landing.
end of it. No
Decky
need.
stops it.
No need for Askarov to take any unnecessary punishment. He earns our respect by virtue of the fact he took the fight. But Abdisalam Kubanychbek showing just what a dominant force he is, not just in the landscape of Kyrgyzstan MMA, but now in global mixed martial arts.
Phil, we are going to see Abdisalam Uulu Omak Kubanychbek vie for the Brave Combat Federation title. I am absolutely sure of it, and I am absolutely sure that Vagiv Askarov has all of my respect. He stepped off a plane in the early hours this morning. He fought tonight. That's a warrior. The heart wasn't enough, but he's got all my respect. He's being attended to by a world-class cadre, an MD, one of the best boxing coaches in the world. We've got Jess the Cup Man there.
There you
in
see
great
just,
hands.
there you see the beginning of the end. The mouthpiece comes out, he gets flattened out, he eats huge shots. Referee Decky Larkin sees that there's no need for him to take any more unnecessary punishment, calls a halt to the action. Your winner by first round TKO, extending his winning streak to 8, is Abdisalam Uulu Kubanychbek.
Phil, Vagiv is staying on his stool. I think that's on a precautionary, not a necessary basis. But it's wise when a fighter takes that kind of punishment that you give him a chance just to sit and collect himself. He's clearly not happy with his performance, but I think all things considered, he absolutely did the best he could. Big props to Vagiv for taking a fight on short notice. Big props to Decky Larkin for stopping it when he did. And of course, monster props to Abdisalam Uulu Omak Kubanychbek, who will be fighting for the Brave Combat Federation title in short order. I am extremely confident. They may leave Vagiv on his corner. No, he's standing up of his own accord, walking to center cage. Fighters are exiting. The Roaring Lion makes it official.
All right, Brave Nation, what an explosive bout in the Brave CF 45 cage. This one comes to an end at 3 minutes and 33 seconds of the very first round. Referee Decky Larkin stops about TKO due to strikes for your winner, Abdisalam Uulu Omak Kubanychbek.
This next bout is 3 5-minute rounds and a catchweight bout of 71 kilograms. Introducing your first warrior, fighting out of the blue corner. This man is a mixed martial artist with a professional record of 14 wins and 14 losses. He stands 175 centimeters tall and weighs in at 70.8 kilos. Fighting out of Tajikistan, presenting Jahangir Shahid Iramadov. And his opponent across the cage, fighting out of the red corner. This man is a mixed martial artist with a professional record of 16 wins and 3 losses. He stands 178 centimeters tall and weighs in at 70.8 kilograms. Fighting out of Kyrgyzstan, presenting Abdisalam Uulu Omak Kubanychbek.
Opponent took it as a personal offense, walked up, exchanged some glances, and now it's on.
I was almost surprised to see him touch gloves, but here we are. And Said Jamalov draws first blood with a lead jab there. And as you mentioned, Kubanychbek has a background in wrestling, but he is just such an effective striker. He has a lot of KO power, especially in his left hook.
It's one of the things that's the hardest to develop for wrestlers is striking. There's a certain rhythm, and of course all the pulling in wrestling, and it doesn't lend itself to the fluidity, to the rhythm of striking. So what you're seeing is somebody who had a wrestling base and overcame that, and now punches, kicks, puts his shots together with tremendous fluidity and rhythm.
We last saw Kubanychbek in November of last year at Brave 45, where he defeated Vagiv Askerov by a first-round TKO. A result I'm sure he would be pleased to replicate here. Oh, nice
shot! Omak wobbled just a little. Omak waiting to find his feet. They're not quite there.
Said Jamalov has some power in his punches. That was a solid combination.
Brave Nation, if you don't get hit in the head a lot, when you're hit in the head, you've got 5 to 10 seconds. You gotta hang through, then you recover. Body shots are different. Get hit in the body, it's gonna last a while. Omak got hit in the head. He did make it through the 5, maybe 10 seconds. He's back to normal.
Yeah, he's definitely turned things around here. He is now the one pressing the action. He landed a nice kick a little bit earlier. And some good strikes here as well. Nothing super powerful, nothing that's going to end the fight, but he is definitely getting back into the fight.
He's got to respect that power from the fighter from Tajikistan, though. If another shot lands like that, just a little cleaner, it's lights out.
Absolutely. I mean, both of these fighters have fight-ending power at pretty much any moment. Uppercut, hellacious uppercut missed there from Omak, which could definitely have altered the course of the fight had it landed. Said Jamalov smiles after landing a leg kick of his own. And he eats one as well from Omak.
Maybe an accidental eye poke. Omak's not sure what happened. Did not realize that the fight was stopped. The referee may have been out of view when he stopped it. Sebastian, sometimes these happen, and it's a punch to the eye, and the fighter feels like a finger went in the eye, and it didn't. In the heat of the fight, you can't quite tell.
Absolutely.
Right now, referee is telling Omak, keep your fingers together, and the fight goes on.
And I would not expect Kubanychbek to have done anything like that on purpose. I mean, sometimes in those exchanges, even if it were a finger that slips, you know, your hand just kind of opens up, you know, after you've landed a strike. Maybe it just, it could be several different things that prompted it. Either way, they are back in action now. Leg kick misses there from both fighters, actually.
I like how Kubanychbek is always feinting with the hands, always feinting with the hips, always double leg denied. Not quite sufficient commitment on that double leg. Omak now is his opponent up against the fence. He's very skilled at tying up and going into elbows, and they can be fight turning. We've seen it before.
Nice takedown from Kubanychbek. He was landing some solid shots as well, especially a left hand that definitely got Said Jamalov's attention. And now instead it is on the ground. Said Jamalov working hard to get back onto his feet, but Kubanychbek just not giving him the space required to do so. Oh, he's going for a rear naked choke.
Very tough to get without position first. There is an old adage, position before submission. There are times you can break it. I'm not sure this is one of them. This is a time you can try and break your opponent's head, though, and that's what's going on.
Absolutely. Kubanychbek just unloading with strikes on Said Jamalov, who is holding on to his opponent's left hand for dear life just to make sure that the choke is not completed. Oh, but he lets go in just a split second.
Oh, that's escaped. Ooh, but it's frying pan into the fire. You escape the choke, and there's shots raining down on you.
Yeah, this is a terrible position for Said Jamalov. I mean, he just can't really get out of there. I mean, Kubanychbek is just not giving him any space to work with at all.
As I alluded to earlier, this fighter is absolutely relentless, and he will attack you with strikes, with submissions, and with his wrestling. There is no rest whatsoever against this man. Said Jamalov doesn't seem to want any rest. He's trying to stand. He's trying to bring the fight back up to his feet. He is up on his feet.
We're down to short time now, Brave Nation, about 5 seconds. Omok looking maybe for a takedown to cement this round. And that's time. Mighty, mighty round.
Absolutely, a great first round, and especially for Kubanychbek, who really came on strongly there, ironically enough, after getting tagged himself. It's almost like it woke him up, got him into the fight. He realized that he needed to give a little bit more, and that he certainly did. Finished off a round very, very strong. Back clinch position, landed a strong knee in that position as well, and just dozens of strikes from a back mount.
So everybody knows Russian fighters are arguably the toughest in the world, and I have to say, I don't know if you've noticed, but these fighters don't even use stools. Yeah. Everybody's like, I don't need to sit down on a stool. Only weak people do that. Some of them stand, some of them rest on the ground. People so tough, they don't even need a stool. That's it. It's seconds out. Everybody's got 10 seconds to exit the Brave Combat Federation cage so the action can resume for you, our great fans.
And let's see how Saidjamalov gets back into the fight, because as mentioned, he started off very strongly. I mean, he kind of clipped Kubanychbek in the early instances of the first round, but then Omok just got back into a fight and started taking over. So let's see what adjustments Saidjamalov can make here. Nice little strike combination there. Mostly missed or blocked.
A punch is most effective. It's most likely to knock the opponent out. Not there when an opponent is moving away, but when you can catch an opponent moving in.
Kubanychbek is finding the target with that right hand. Twice it got through. Very nice work. Going for the takedown now, which is being well defended by Saidjamalov, who lands a nice counter and a left hand, but Omok fires back.
That's what makes Omok such a special fighter. He was completely dominating the standing, landing left, right, could have continued with that, and instead, level changed, got in on his opponent, took him down to the mat, and now is threatening something even worse than a left and a right to the head.
Absolutely, he is back. Oh, he's got it!
It is over!
That is it.
Omok gets the tap!
Abdisalam Uulu Kubanychbek lines up another victory here in Brave Combat Federation and does it with style. That was a very...
Who's next?
All right, Brave Nation, your referee, Nikolai Sharipov, has called an end to the action at 1 minute and 8 seconds of round number 2, declaring your winner via submission due to rear naked choke, fighting out of the red corner, Abdisalam Uulu, Kubanychbek!
warrior. Fighting out of the blue corner, this man's a mixed martial artist with a professional record of 14 wins, 9 losses, and 1 no contest. He stands 173 centimeters tall and weighs a ready 70.7 kilograms. Representing the Incredible Fighting and Fitness Center and fighting out of the Philippines, please welcome the Brave CF 2020 Fighter of the Year, Rolando the Incredible D! And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, this man's a mixed martial artist with a professional record of 17 wins and 3 losses. He stands 178 centimeters tall and weighs a ready 71.7 kilograms. Representing Sport Club Ilas and fighting out of Kyrgyzstan, please welcome Abdisalam Uulu Kubanychbek. For fighter instructions, the bandit, Jackie Larkin.
He will be in the red corner in the white shorts, taking on Rolando D. Incredible in the blue corner.
I loved what Kubanychbek did when he was being introduced. He marched into the center of the octagon, laid down the gauntlet. Shades of Junior Dos Santos.
Certainly was. I will also say, in the time it took Carlos Kramer to do the introductions, I had 50 DMs from the Philippines telling me that I was pronouncing the name wrong. Rolando, not Ronaldo. I do apologize to the entire nation of the Philippines and personally to Rolando D as well. We are set and underway.
Rolando D mixing up the strikes well here, working the head, working the body, throwing the kicks in.
Trying to make it difficult for Abdisalam to get inside. Abdisalam, he just looks tough, doesn't he? He's just got that face of a fighter.
Tough in demeanor and tough in his fight style. He's going to continually press forward. He's going to start off with the strikes. Once he's got his measure of the man with those hands, he's probably going to level change and try and get in on the hips. But in all cases, he will be relentless.
Rolando D keeping that left hand high, or sorry, right hand high, almost as if anticipating something big coming in, but he has that in his locker, just that capacity to counter strike so quickly. Beautiful lead hook.
And we have talked a lot about Abdisalam and the run he's on, the 3 fights, the 3 victories, the 3 finishes. But in his last fight, Brave 46, where he took on Saeed Jamolov in the 2nd round, he won that by rear naked choke, but he faced adversity. He got wobbled in that 1st round.
Nice little slip and rip there from Omok. Both guys showing that they've got very dangerous hands, Brian.
Dangerous hands, but you can feel the respect between them, Kirik, as well.
It's huge. This is literally a don't blink moment. One of these fighters could blink and something would happen within that split second of time and end it.
Rolando working the body a little bit to try and come over the top, but both these guys have laser-like precision with their strikes. I'd even go as far as to say the precision is precise.
Well, you can see the marks from that precise precision on the face there of Rolando.
Omok could try and stay in the outside, point fight a little bit, try and use that reach, but he's not. He's stepping right into the fire,
Nice
trying to land big
job.
shots.
Well, the thing I like about his strikes is as he steps in, Rolando is right on the end of those. That range is already there for Abdisalam.
Rolando thinking about that counter hook again. There it is.
More pressure, though, coming from Abdisalam. That is one of the weapons he uses. He's always in your face.
And what he does so well is he can add just incremental pressure. So every 30-odd seconds that go past, he's adding another degree of pressure.
Rolando with the back against the cage. That is like a red rag to a bull for Abdisalam, looking for the takedown now.
Rolando splitting the base well, but Omok like a dog with a bone when it comes to his takedowns.
Indeed, Phil, indeed.
Impressive stuff, taking away the base. High-level grappling once again, Kirik.
Just landing those little pot shot elbows. D trying his best to regard or regain his guard. He has the butterfly hooks. He may try and elevate and sweep, but with someone as well versed in wrestling and grappling as Kubanychbek, it's very difficult. Needs to be wary of the up kick here. But again, just as he tries to get up again, smothered by Omar.
There's that figure four. There's the calves, the ankles shelved. You can escape this, but in order to do so, you have to leave your face open. And when that happens, that happens. What you're seeing right there was an escape. It was successful, but there was 2 clean shots to the melon.
And again, happy to set in that anchor position. And it's crazy the amount of power Kubanychbek can generate from being on his knees, from being in that sort of jilted stance.
Without a doubt, and power is also a blessing. You either got it or you haven't, and he uses it so well, trying to feed that arm back through now, trying to control that grip.
Smart wrist
Dagestani
control.
handcuff coming up. It's likely to be followed with elbows.
Oh, a nice shot coming in.
What he's doing so well there is he's mixing it to the head. They're coming underneath the armpit. He's using a strike to elicit space so that he can land further strikes. Very, very smart.
Sticking to the back like glue of Rolando D. Nice little takedown as well there. Once again showing another way that he can get you to the mat.
What he did so intelligently with that takedown is he used his foot as the little shelf with which to pull Rolando over. Very subtle, but worked brilliantly for him.
Final 10 seconds of this opening round, and looking to finish big is Abdisalam.
Absolutely fantastic, technical, exciting round. Lived up to all of our expectations.
Yeah, the opening minute or so feeling each other out, a lot of respect, but once that distance was close, Phil, Abdisalam showed a lot of power, a lot of aggression in those wrestling exchanges.
And you pointed out, it wasn't just the wrestling exchanges, it was also that little jab he was throwing, stepping into it. And just by taking away that maybe 6, 7, 8 inches, he was leaving Rolando right at the end of the power point of that jab. It was very smart, but yes, the wrestling was fantastic, and the wrist control, just so smart and so fluid with it.
And with Rolando, when you're looking at the way he got taken down, it was when he stopped with his back against the cage. He's got to keep moving. That lateral movement is going to be so important for him to keep it on the feet in the second round.
As you said, it's a red rag to a bull against someone like Kubanychbek if you're standing with your back to the fence. I would say the lateral movement, but he can't even have his back that close. He can't be skirting the edge of the cage. I would say the first black line where you see inside, or sorry, the second black line you see inside the cage is the perimeter with which you should work.
So we're set for round number 2 here in our main event at Brave 47. What a night it's been. What a spectacular first round this main event has given us so far as we step into the second. Rolando D in the blue corner, Abdisalam Uulu Kubanychbek in the red.
Rolando D is a brilliant fighter. He knows his path to victory here is a straight, probably followed up with a hook. He's going to do everything he can to try to set that up. He may have to take some punishment to do it.
And he's used to being in that role of the underdog. He's been against those guys who were meant to steamroll him. John Bruin was meant to walk through him, yet he bested him. So he thrives in that role of the underdog.
And that just gives another bit of credit to his mental fortitude. The corner he's turned since taking his last loss. But he has got to switch the tides here tonight. Oh, another connection from both fighters there.
Nice 1-2 from Kubanychbek.
Oh!
Nice landing big strikes.
Use those strikes to close the distance, Kirik.
D's got his stance split wide, wide, wide. If he can be taken down here, it is a huge moment for Omar. The stance is split so wide, Brave Nation, that the fighter's hands cannot come together. If Omar's fingers clasp, there's going to be a takedown. If they don't, it's going to be very hard to get it.
Looks like those are locked already, Phil.
And he's down.
Rolando just trying to hold on right now to try and force referee Dickie Larkin to get them back up, but quasi-crucifix from the half-guard position perhaps here.
Yeah, forcing him to give up the backs, turn to the side.
Oh, and elbows to the ribs.
Heavy.
That's a bit naughty. Great wrist control again here from Kubanychbek.
Just the pressure of this man. You can feel his power, but the way he distributes that pressure onto the opponent beneath him is phenomenal.
This is very nearly a frame-by-frame replay of the first round. Omar clearly has a strategy. He's doing exactly what he wants to. D is up. He's got to split that stance or he's going to be down again. Nice elbow by D. Incredible.
Nice.
We're watching the hands now. If those hands come together, there's going to be a takedown.
You look at the way he works his way into that. Now switches to the single, Phil.
And then almost transitioned into taking the back, but Rolando did quite well there. He lifted the frame of Kubanychbek up so he couldn't get the hands clasped around the backside for the takedown. But right now, Rolando really needs to turn it up with the hands. He's getting caught with some shots here.
He has a chin on him for sure. He's eating some big shots coming from Abdisalam.
Oh, that was a huge shot straight on again.
Looking for his fourth finish inside the brave cage is Abdisalam Kubanychbek.
He's just measuring up for that big straight.
The Incredible waiting for that head to clear. Brave Nation, when you take a shot to the body, it's cumulative. A shot to the head hurts for 5 to 10 seconds, and then it clears. That's what he's waiting for.
An elbow over the top, just hitting there on the rear of the ear.
But then what he does so brilliantly is he lands the strikes and then straight away, boom, in for the takedown. Landed another big couple of elbows there. And he's still got a lot of time on which to work, just under 2 minutes here in the second round.
Yeah, 1 minute 45 seconds in this second round of our main event here at Fort Arad. What a spectacular setting this has been. And the fights, the results, the spectacular KOs we've had have lived up to the billing so far tonight. And this main event has been all Abdisalam Kubanychbek so far.
Doing a great job of just pushing down the leg of Rolando D. Could even skirt across. But he's more than happy to stay in this position and just land huge strikes, body to the head. And Rolando D must be thinking, what do I need to do to get this man off me?
It's just the elements of control he has as well. You see how he controlled the wrist before that. Now that forward pressure again, those elbows grinding into the chin of Rolando D.
And again, pins down the arm.
Should Rolando D be looking to skirt back towards the fence, Kiri? Because that is key to getting back to his feet.
He should, but in order to do it, he's going to have to leave his face open a little bit. And at this point, his brain is not in a position to take 3 or 4 more clean shots. So he's hand fighting. He's staying in tight. He's got a knee shield to deny his opponent hip leverage in those strikes, and he's trying to pull the head down again to deny leverage, and he's hand fighting. He's holding on to those hands.
You can see some of the damage there just on the right eyebrow. Oh, another clean shot comes with the overhand right there, Phil.
Nice work by Rolando to try and regain the guard. But again, it goes back to what we're saying about frequency and continuity by Omog. This is almost like this is his game plan. This is what he does so well. Many people have tried to prevent him from doing it, but that shows just what a specialist he is.
Final 10 seconds of this second round.
Kubanychbek is a specialist in everything. He can do everything. He can submit. He can strike on the ground. He can strike from standing. He can take his opponent down. He can stop a takedown. He can push his opponent up against the fence. This is mixed martial arts at the highest level that we have the privilege to watch.
And you saw the 2 different demeanors after that round. Kubanychbek, a big smile to his corner, calling them in. Whereas Rolando D stayed sat where he was. And what would you look for the corner to do now, Phil? They've really got to show him he's got to step out there and make something happen. Dig deep.
Well, that's it exactly, Brian. They know that he has that capacity, but he needs to go out there and, again, it's not dissimilar to fights we've seen earlier. Conceivably, he's down 2 rounds. He needs to go in there and he needs to channel something from deep within him, and he needs to go out there and get the finish.
This is where that motivation you talked about comes into play.
The fight's over.
Oh, it's
the fight's over.
Oh, there we go.
Call on the stool, guys.
Unable to answer the bell for the 3rd and final round, understandably so. Let's give credit to the pressure, the absolute dominance of Abdisalam Uulu Kubanychbek. Maybe not the way he would have wanted to finish the fight, but there is something to be said about making your warrior, your opponent, not be able to come out and greet you once again for that final 5 minutes.
I know the Incredible wanted to come out for this round. That was a stoppage by his corner. It's very unusual in mixed martial arts. In MMA, basically the fighters hire the coach. The coach is working for them. It takes a coach with a lot of courage to do what you saw here. He looked at his fighter, he knows him intimately, and he said, I am not going to let you go out for this final round.
I got to say, I absolutely respect that. You look at the other 2 rounds, the pressure was only building up, the damage was only building up, Phil. And now the hype is building up for that man, Abdisalam Uulu Kubanychbek, because he is on a 10-fight win streak. 4 fights in Brave, 4 finishes.
Like I said at the start of the fight, he has now made himself undeniable as the #1 contender. He's got another round left in him, no problem. He's another couple of rounds. He's charging back and forth right now. He's telling, he's not asking for a title shot. He's telling Muhammad Shahid that he is next in line for the belt.
And I saw a good nod there. Who wouldn't deny that, man? He could take my car, my children, my dog, my house. A performance like that is just absolutely stunning. I'm really impressed with my first viewing of this man. And like you said, undeniable. Rolando Dido, what a spectacular human being he is. We will see him back. He knows how to bounce back, and he will do it again, I am absolutely sure.
He absolutely will. We've had the honor and the pleasure of spending quality time with both these gentlemen, and they are gentlemen. These are great human beings, as well as being...
Back between these two warriors. Oh, a little dig at the end. You said he had a round in him, left, Phil.
He's still trying to work the body, but guys, this is only one of 4 Brave Combat Federation shows in the arena. What a standard has been set. The bar is incredibly high.
Follow that. Let's hand it to the man in the middle, Mr. Carlos Kramer.
All right, Brave Nation, what an incredible way to end this historic night. This comes to an end at the end of the 2nd round, a corner stoppage, fighter unable to continue, and your winner, and now the Brave Combat Federation #1 lightweight contender in the world, from Kyrgyzstan, Abdisalam Uulu, Kubanychbek. This next battle is 5 5-minute rounds for the interim lightweight championship of the world. Introducing your first warrior, fighting out of the blue corner. This man's a mixed martial artist with a professional record of 15 wins and 3 losses. He stands 190 centimeters tall and weighs a ready 70.3 kilograms. Representing Full House and fighting out of Belo Horizonte, Brazil. Introducing the former Brave Combat Federation lightweight champion of the world, Clayton Predador Silva. And introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. This man's a mixed martial artist with a professional record of 18 wins and 3 losses. He stands 178 centimeters tall and weighs a ready 70.3 kilograms. Representing Sport Club Ilas and fighting out of Bishkek, Kyrgyzstan. Give it up for Abdisalam Uulu. For further instructions.
Big thanks to Gulf Air, our aviation sponsor. I am a frequent flyer on Gulf Air, and I'm so delighted to say once again, Gulf Air, our aviation sponsor. Now, Phil, in mixed martial arts, you can break it down very, very simply into 2 parts. How much impact can you inflict and how much can you endure? As you get older, the power is the last thing to go. You can inflict a lot of damage, but can you take it as you get older? That is the question that Predador Silva faces right now.
Predador Silva entering his 11th year as a professional mixed martial artist. He's a big shot over the top. He got wobbled. Kubanychbek doing a good job not to smother and crowd his work. It needs to get those hands a little bit higher.
Predador is as dangerous on the attack as he has ever been. But time cannot be stopped. The ability to absorb punishment declines with time.
Another big shot over the top from Uulu. He's landing that big right hand at nauseum.
I'm extremely impressed, Phil, that the height difference between Omak and Predador which is pretty significant, is proving to be no problem for the fighter from Kyrgyzstan.
Well, ironically, Kubanychbek just needs to look at the fight fought by Amin Ayub when he beat Clayton Silva for the belt for a little bit of a blueprint on how to get it done in there.
Phil, it was a couple seconds ago, there was a very nasty check by Omak of a right low kick. I believe it banged up Predator's foot just a little bit. May have compromised his ability to move. You may not see him throwing a lot more right low kicks.
Oh, big shot behind the ear.
Huge shot from Silva. Senses a little bit of an impediment or an impediment.
I was talking about the ability to absorb punishment. You're seeing it on view here. Omak can take a shot.
Trying to get in on the clinch and get the takedown. Clayton Predator Silva is a bona fide Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu brown belt, but if there is such a thing, I would say Abdisalam Uulu Kubanychbek is a black belt in mixed martial arts. High cross, and that's the strength of Omak.
Air Kyrgyzstan landing hard.
Just solidifying the position, and this is where Uulu does some incredible work, just systematically breaking down his opponent.
Kubanychbek has a couple options here. He can try and pass that guard, or, as you saw here, if it doesn't go his way, he can follow it up, take that back, and from there, anything can happen. We got one hook in, we got two hooks in. Fighter is not too high.
He may try and
hip pressure's coming.
Just stretch out.
Huge pressure coming.
Hipping right in, he's underneath the chin.
Forearms in place, huge. Short time now. Short time, Phil.
Oh, this is
short time.
Deep. Silva doing the right thing, fighting the hands. Oh.
Beautiful defense by Predator Silva.
Educated Brazilian, or educated Bahraini crowd, loving the work of the Brazilian here.
Broom sweep, takedown, tables are turned. We had one hook in, positions are reversed.
Incredible fight so far. Drag takedown from Kubanychbek.
Omak back on the back.
Just now forcing.
Beautiful little takedown. Scramble, scramble. Who's going to win it? Nice straight right.
Ducks underneath. Just uses the shots of Silva to invite him in and then take him down. Again, taking the back here. Surprised he didn't try and get some hooks in there.
He was landing shots cleanly, and he had, I was about to say, he had so much luck with that little kick sweep takedown. He knew he could do it again, and he did. He's going to shift his hips back just a little and then start putting, a little too high. He's going to shift the hips back and then starting put pressure on those hips. Drive his opponent's knees back towards the camera, flatten him out, and from there, if it's successful, we're going to see a second attempt at that choke. That first attempt was thwarted. I guarantee you Omak learned something in losing that first submission attempt. Whatever he lost is going to be on full display very shortly if he has his way.
Landing big shots. Again, he's quite high up the back here. I'd like to see him get a little bit further down. Right in front of us, landing huge shots. Clayton
the impact is in, that's it!
It's all over!
It's all over!
Ladies and gentlemen, Abdisalam Uulu Kubanychbek. Oh,
wait a minute.
Oh, I thought.
But wait, fight fans, there is more. I believe there's going to be a strict caution against striking to the back of the head. We're going to get a little look at what happened right now on the replay, thanks to Green Hill.
Oh, with one clip the back of the head, 2, 3, maybe 4. Initially, I thought referee Aaron Wallace was stopping the fight. In my over-exuberance, I got a little too excited. Apologies, ladies and gentlemen. Clayton Predator Silva, I think he's claiming he's not able to see properly at the minute. His vision's impeded. Oh, this would be a terrible way to
There
end
is
a
an
fight
aspect
like
of mixed martial arts, combat sports fans, where it is not to your advantage to downplay when you get hit with an illegal blow. There is not much in it to your advantage. Omak gesturing to the crowd, saying he does not believe that he hit the back of the head.
We just hope that...
Omak indicating with his hands he wants to get that belt wrapped around his waist.
We just hope that Clayton Predator Silva is able to continue, because this was transpiring to be an incredible fight.
Predator Silva has up to 5 minutes. During that 5-minute span, he's going to be.
That was clean. That one clipped the back of the head. Potentially clipped.
There's a degree of ambiguity here. I will say this without exception, there was no intent to hit the back of the head there.
I think, like many people in the crowd here, we both thought that the fight had been called to an end.
Medical staff are now attending to Predator. They have a couple more minutes. That's a very long time in the sport. He's being spoken to. He's being asked about his vision, about his clarity of thought, maybe even asked simple questions like, what day is it? What city are you in? There can be language issues in our sport. This event has 24 fighters from 15 different nations between them. There's probably 30 or more languages spoken. We've got an excellent translation staff standing by here to assist as necessary.
Predator Clayton Silva shaking his head. That's not a good sign at all, Carrick. As I say, that had all the makeup. First round had all the makings of a fantastic fight, and it's just such a shame we find ourselves in this situation. Kubanychbek is very much ready and willing to go, but
the fight has been called off. Clayton Predator Silva indicated to the medical staff that he was not able to continue due to vision issues.
I believe, again,
as in a 5-round fight, as not nearly enough time has passed for the judges to render a decision. This bout is going to be declared a no contest. The interim title belt is going to remain vacant.
Oh, this is so unfortunate. Not the result any fighter wanted. This fight will be rendered a no contest. And again, it's only fair to run this one back. Both fighters are going to feel like they had an opportunity to become the interim champion.
As I'd said earlier, Phil, one of the things that goes in a fighter, and one of the most important thing is mixed martial arts is being able to deliver punishment, but nearly equally as important is the ability to sustain it, the ability to receive it. That really does go away with time. We may be past Clayton Silva's time to be in a combat sports cage.
No fairy tale ending for Clayton Predator Silva. No championship reign genesis for Abdisalam Uulu Kubanychbek. The result will be a no contest, Carrick. We just have to make it official. But again, it's disappointing for both fighters.
It's disappointing for the fighters. It's as disappointing as hell for Abdisalam Uulu Kubanychbek, for Omar, for his country, for his corner, for his teammates, for his friends, for all of his fans all across the world. This is not the ending that anyone wants to see in a fight.
But you have to think at only 27 years old, there's still a lot of time for Omar. He's only really now starting to approach those prime years, especially in the lightweight division.
As I said, Phil, I thought this was going to be a test of Clayton Silva's ability to withstand impact. In the end, after some blows that got at least dangerously close to the back of the head area, he indicated after 5 minutes he did not want to continue.
Yeah.
That may indicate that his time in the cage has elapsed.
And another factor that comes into play here.
Kubanychbek hits like an absolute Mack truck. So if he's in that position and he's landing strikes and they're unintentionally going errant, he hits with a lot of power. They're going to have that effect on his opponent.
And of course, when you have back mount, opponents facing down, not only do you not see the punches coming, and the worst punches in all striking-oriented combat sports are the ones you don't see, but your head is up against the floor.
You've got
you
gravity
can't
on your
move
side
with it.
too,
You can't roll with the punches. And gravity, bad word. You got gravity on your side too when you're on top. Brave Nation, we're just waiting for the officials ringside to deliver. I believe we're just seconds away now from the officials ringside to hand the official statement to Carlos Kramer. And Carlos Kramer will make it official by reading it out to the crowd here in Combat Kingdom, the amazing Kingdom of Bahrain, and of course worldwide through streaming and broadcast.
All right, Brave Nation, at 4 minutes and 41 seconds of the first round, referee Aaron Wallace stops the bout due to an unintentional blow to back of the head. The fighter unable to continue. This bout is ruled a no contest. Introducing your first challenger. Fighting out of the blue corner, this man is a mixed martial artist with a professional record of 10 wins and 5 losses. He stands 180 centimeters tall and weighs a ready 69.96 kilograms. Representing Ireland MMA Pro Team and fighting out of Kazlorda, Kazakhstan, please welcome challenger number 1, Oljas Kipshak. And now introducing his opponent. Fighting out of the red corner, this man is a mixed martial artist with a professional record of 18 wins, 3 losses, and 1 no contest. He stands 178 centimeters tall and weighs a ready 70.06 kilograms. Representing Sport Club Ilas and fighting out of Bishkek, Kyrgyzstan. Please welcome challenger number 2, Abdisalam Uulu, over Kubanychbek.
Brave Combat Federation has lit a roaring fire, fanned the flames, threw some gasoline on it, and they just put 2 sticks of dynamite into it. Brave Nation, it's about to blow up.
Let's make some noise!
Fighter instructions were bound to be interesting there. 2 lads from Kyrgyzstan listening to a lad from Balaki give instructions. I'm sure that made a lot of sense to them. What an incredible fight and prospect here. Dickie Larkin is your man in the middle, one of the best in the business. This for the title. Both these men incredibly tough.
Kubanychbek's ring intelligence, which is a thing, is very, very high.
Fight IQ,
it takes most fighters a minute to 2 minutes to see where their opponent's at. He's closer to 15 seconds.
But Iskariev cannot be discounted. He is as tough as they come. I've been in the workout room with him. He is incredibly strong. Again, very smart. But again, Kubanychbek just has that X factor, that intangible, that thing that makes him so dangerous and such a formidable opponent inside the Brave Arena. Looks like he's trying to load up the right hand to parlay that into the shot.
Circling now to keep his foot in the outside of his opponent's foot. When he gets that and he gets the distance he wants, he's going to let that hand go.
Iskariev needs to be wary of walking into that right hand. If he's forced to circle out to his left-hand side, which is the power side of Kubanychbek, he could get caught with that big right hand.
Iskariev tried to land that jab over the shoulder. Very, very tough. When you're a southpaw and your opponent's in an orthodox stance, can be done, but tough to do.
Yeah, you kind of need to pat down that lead hand in order to land your jab.
Very smart to go to the body. Get your opponent's attention down a little bit. It's that much easier to land that shot to the head. And at fighters at this level, that shot to the head can end it on the spot.
Especially with these little 4-ounce gloves. You know, the guard that you would have in the likes of boxing or in the likes of Muay Thai is different because the glove will absorb a lot of the punishment. It's just not the case. We've seen it with kickboxers who try and transition to MMA. They leave these little pockets, these little gaps. Beautiful shot to the body there from Kubanychbek.
What you saw right there, Phil, that's a champion's mark. When somebody does something to you, you do it back to them better.
He's now getting Eskariev to bite on his feints a little bit. Didn't land flush, but that right hand is dangerous. Both these men trying to soften up the body. Lead uppercut to straight combination from Kubanychbek. Seems the game plan is to soften up the body here for both men.
Both men are
they're mirroring
taking
one another.
They're taking the full measure of each other.
They're
You do
mirroring.
it to me, I'm going to do it to you.
Nice lead, looping hook.
Each of these fighters has supreme confidence in their skill.
Oh, huge shot over the top into the takedown from Kubanychbek, and this is where he really flourishes. This is where he does his best work. This is where he is at his most formidable and dangerous.
Was in a high crotch. It was denied the first time. It looks like it was the second time as well.
Nice work from Eskariev to defend the takedown. I did see him in the workout room working a lot of get-ups, working a lot of takedown defense with his training partners.
Very wise man, and that was a very wise elbow to the forehead from Omak.
Great head positioning now. It's these subtle little things that Kubanychbek does that belay that he is such a good fighter. There it is. But Eskariev again getting right back up to his feet, or at least attempting to do so. Doing the right things. Pressuring the head. Hoping where the head goes, the body follows. And Kubanychbek may be cut over the eye here.
Kubanychbek is cut over the eye. I did not see an elbow land. It may have been one of those shots a little bit earlier
Potential.
in the fight. It's also possible there was a cut during training and it opened up. Another strong possibility is an accidental clash of heads. This is all conjecture, though. I didn't see it land.
Doesn't seem to be a massive impediment over the eye right now. He seems to be more to the side.
Excellent giraffe fighting from Omak. The use of that head is so important. The head becomes a third hand if it's used properly. Denies the opponent the full use of his core. Eskariev, very wisely, I think, separates.
Oh, that cut is just above the eye, actually. If Eskariev can zero in on that, I'd love to see if we can possibly replay of where that cut happened, where it opened up. But the doctors will surely be in the in between rounds to get a look at that. Nice head kick coming from the southpaw. Oh yes. Needs to be wary of leaning in when he throws that looping hook. Again, the takedown from Kubanychbek.
Phil Omak is fighting with a little bit more vigor. He may be worried about that cut.
10 seconds.
One hook's in.
Yeah. Closing stances of the round, but nice work by Eskariev. Finishes the round on top in the eyes of the judges.
All right, call it, Phil. Who'd you like in that round?
It
10-9,
was
9-10.
An incredibly close round, but if I had to split them by a hair, I would say just for the positional control, I would have to go Kubanychbek. Your thoughts, Carrick?
I'm going to split it. I'm going to go the other way for the simplest
interesting.
thing in combat sports, and that's damage.
Damage.
If you're not sure who won, ask yourself a simple question. Who hurt who more? By that standard, I have Olyas Eskariev up 10-9. Phil's got it 9-10 for Abdisalam Kubanychbek. Doesn't matter anyways because we're not official judges, just having a little bit of fun trying to get you, Brave Nation, to think about who won this round. As you can see by our opponents, could have gone either way. But all in all, very good showing by both fighters. The big worry, of course, is that cut.
Oh,
there
it was, Carrick. There was
accidental clash of the
accidental
heads.
clash of heads, just skimmed one another as Kubanychbek was the one who was initiating the takedown.
Thanks to our great production team here for finding that, putting that in front of us. Brave Nation, cuts can cause a lot of blood and not be dangerous.
They can cause a little bit, but being a spot right above a nerve, and the doctors have to stop it. We don't have the expertise at this point to know one way or the other, whether that cut is very dangerous or whether it's, relatively speaking, a triviality. Decky Larkin runs a tight, tight ship. Round 2 just about to start. Little glove touch, sign of mutual respect.
If you're Askariev, do you try and zero in on that eye, try and open that up a little bit more, make it bleed into
You sure
the eye?
do, and before you do that, you try and get him to think about something else. Get him to think you're trying to kick him in the legs, level change, make him think you want to get in his hips, and then bang him right in that cut.
Nice movement from Askariev. Oh, huge uppercut.
Dazzling shot!
Oh, he's hurt.
Dazzling shot, Phil!
Kubanychbek trying to get it done early in the second round here. Landed 2 big shots. Kubanychbek trying to take the back. He's very high up right now.
He's well out of position to throw big shots. He does have a figure 4 now.
Askariev doing everything he can to try and turn in, but then, again, that illustrates just how dangerous Kubanychbek. Something out of nothing.
Brave Nation, this figure 4 position, those locked legs around the torso is the most miserable form of control there is. The ribs can hurt. It's very difficult to inhale. And of course, the opponent can threaten you with a submission or further strikes.
But Askariev doing a great job of turning those hips in towards Kubanychbek.
Oh yes, Askariev is a beast.
Triangle attempt. Askariev really is something different, isn't he? Got rocked, got put on his backside, now finds himself.
Triangle's getting close.
Hasn't
Got to
got
get that foot underneath the knee and then twist the body a little bit so the two bodies are not lined up. But it's getting close. That foot is now getting. Now you got to get the knee to the ankle rather than towards the toes.
He's in.
We've now got the angle between the bodies is formed.
It's pressure on his foot as opposed to the shin being locked.
Got to get the ankle rather than the toe part underneath that knee, and that doesn't sound like much. Believe me, it's much.
Switches to the armbar. Oh, and Askariev is out. Fantastic ability to wait it out, to defend by Askariev. And right back up on the feet now. Oh, beautiful short elbow by Kubanychbek.
Phil, Askariev was in a submission hold in his mind right now. He wants to put his opponent in one.
Tight against the cage, and oh yes, Askariev proving that he deserves his spot here to contend for the interim lightweight championship. Kubanychbek consistently proving what we all know, and that's that he is a very dangerous man. Takedown from Kubanychbek.
Excellent top game, making every inch his opponent moves, sap a little bit more energy, throwing some shots to the head, threatening a hook. Got one in place. Opponent is now forced to keep that hip pressed up against the fence, trying to keep the other hook from going in. We get a leg grapevine briefly.
Going to switch to the body triangle, it seems, has that leg flush across the hip line.
100 seconds to go.
Switch, there it is, the body triangle is in.
Kubanychbek now very wisely looking for the underhook from the back, trying to prevent his opponent from turning in, as we saw the last time. And Askariev manages to turn in for the second time. Brave Nation, that is extraordinarily hard to do from that back figure 4.
And now he's in the position to land ground and pound to try and open up that cut above the eye of Kubanychbek. But Kubanychbek throwing shots and elbows from the bottom, feet on the hips, trying to create distance. Oh, Askariev in his haste to try and get in on Kubanychbek has left a little pocket of space here. Kubanychbek slowly, methodically looking like he's working his way to take the back here, snaking that arm underneath the chin, but Askariev is so game.
Every time I think Askariev is in supreme danger, somehow seconds later he's not.
And we keep talking about how tough he is. He's also doing everything right technically. He's turning into Kubanychbek. He's negating the legs. He's defending the chokes. Not just tough, but also an incredibly intelligent fighter.
Absolutely, Phil. Not just tough, because were it solely toughness, it wouldn't work. Kubanychbek hits too hard. Anybody, their biggest part of their game is that they're a game fighter, that they're really tough. They're not going to beat this man.
Again in that back
mount
tick.
In, and second round ends. You want to make a call for who you thought won that round, Phil?
For me, that's Kubanychbek taking that round again. But like you say, you have Askariev taking the first round. So by your scorecard, you're talking a round apiece. And again, I was giving it on the very, very slimmest of margins. So all to play for going into the third and final round, Kerry.
I'm very, very comfortable saying Omak won that round. I do think he made a tactical mistake. I think when he landed those two big shots, if he had continued to throw strikes, I think it probably would have ended right there. He opted instead to switch to a wrestling game. Opponent was able to keep going. There it is, look at that. And there was a follow-up, boom! Drops his opponent again. Third shot. Absolutely phenomenal. Perfect shot on the temple. Little left, little right, and then what I believe was a mistaken decision. Should have stood right up, called his opponent up. I think he could have gotten the knockout right there.
As we say, all to play for going into the third and final round of this interim lightweight world championship at Brave Combat Federation 59, which has proved to be an incredible fight card showcasing some of the toughest fighters this region, this world, this planet has to offer. Touch of gloves, respect shown by both men. Who wants it more?
Interesting, going back to the body again. May feel his opponent is tiring a little bit, or he may be trying to set up a shot to the head.
My mistake, ladies and gentlemen, I misspoke saying this was the third and final round. Obviously it being a championship fight, we have 5 rounds. I just get so carried away, Carrick, because I enjoy the fights.
These are phenomenal fights. It's interesting, Phil, Kubanychbek in this, the third round now, seems to be getting a little bit stronger. He may be emotionally buoyed by having, we believe, won that second round, but his conditioning may be so extraordinary that he's basically just going into a second win right now.
Well, as we've seen, Kubanychbek can maintain a pace unheralded in mixed martial arts and put that pace on his opponents. Big flare double.
Askariev, in terms of conditioning, maybe fading just a little bit. Kubanychbek, anything but.
It may be a strange thing to say, but the fighting style of Kubanychbek may lend itself better to these championship rounds.
Yeah, he's a grinder. He's going to tire you out. He's going to hit you. Take a submission if it's there. Standing up with Kubanychbek on your back is a very, very tough prospect. He's probably going to take your back, probably going to slam you down again. Askariev very wisely has his back up against that fence, wants to keep it. Going for a key lock, probably not what he wants to do right here. Again, Brave Nation, those shots to the head you're seeing, they appear to be little, and they're not fight enders, but they're miserable. This is causing damage.
Oh, big shot right down the pipe from Kubanychbek. Oh, now elbows turning up the frequency.
Elbow coming.
Big shots by Kubanychbek. And again, it's really been a story of survival so far in the opening stanzas of this third round for Askariev. It's being ragdolled right now by Kubanychbek.
Kubanychbek playing a top game that's smothering, keeping his opponent crunched forwards. The abdomen can't fully expand. Fighter can't breathe, making the fighter carry her weights. The legs get heavy, throwing constant shots, both to remind the judges who's winning this and to cause pain. And then you stand up, your heart starts to beat. You think you're out. Boom, put right back on the ground again. It's heartbreaking.
Momentarily, Askariev managed to get to his feet, but now he's back down, eating shots from Kubanychbek, trying to get that hook in, establish that. One hook, two hooks. Askariev needs to do everything he can to try and turn in towards Kubanychbek.
Be interesting to see if Kubanychbek goes back to that figure four, that triangle on the body, which actually failed him twice. There he is, but this time he's got that leg lace.
Yeah, he hooks the insole of his foot, the back of the thigh of Askariev. Very intelligent work.
He's now got significantly better control than he did before.
Oh,
we've got danger, Phil.
He is underneath the chin, but Askariev is able to defend. Momentarily there, he looked like he was in trouble. Askariev needs to roll to the side that the triangle is locked on to alleviate some of that pressure. So he needs to roll to the opposite side. But again, still throwing punches from that position is Askariev. A minute left with which to work for Kubanychbek.
Short time now, Brave Nation. Fight is likely to play out with what we've seen here. Askariev, very gamely, trying to throw some shots. Very hard to get leverage when your opponent has you in back mount. That back body triangle is the very definition of misery in this sport.
But he is doing a good job of not remaining static, not just accepting the position and letting the inevitable happen, because sometimes a position like this will break a fighter's will, where he'll put himself in the choke just to get out of the fight.
Brave Nation, you'll know that happens if you see the chin lift ever so slightly. 1 or 2 centimeters, chin comes up, means the fighter doesn't want to be here. That is emphatically not the case here. Askariev turns around, round ends. He sure wishes he'd had a couple of seconds to get something back. Phil, any question in your mind who won that round?
None whatsoever. A definitive 10-9 round for Kubanychbek, but a little bit of a moral victory there for Askariev, just to finish the round on top momentarily and prove to himself that if he finds himself in this position, he can transition into the top.
Very little question now, Brave Nation, that Kubanychbek is ahead, regardless of what you thought happened in that first round. I believe he is ahead in this contest. He's getting stronger. I think in his corner, they're just going to tell him, keep doing what you're doing because you are working. Phil, any advice you'd give Askariev if you were in his corner?
Just lateral movement, work behind your jab, have an uppercut loaded, because I think you will see an inevitable takedown from Kubanychbek, but he's just such a difficult fighter to prepare for, to game plan for. He is that X factor, that unknown quantity, just a different type of a fighter as Kubanychbek.
Kubanychbek too, as we've seen in that first round, he's not Superman, he's a human being. This is a fight between two men. He gets in dangerous positions, but emotionally doesn't break at all, does not seem flustered by the fact that things weren't always going his way, and now they are.
And this is the first time in the professional career of Olyas Askariev that he has gone to the championship round, so this is uncharted territory for him.
And Brave Nation, is very difficult to communicate how tough these championship rounds are.
But both men look pretty fresh. Both men still look in shape and ready to go. Neither wilting, neither relenting, neither giving space. You always just feel that Kubanychbek is waiting for something.
Olyas is slowed just slightly.
Understandably so. Kubanychbek just pressing forward, showing the right hand.
Kubanychbek distance managing that very effectively.
Oh, beautiful uppercut again. Landed more so on the gloves, but the threat of it is there.
Next shot that lands with the hands is likely to be followed up.
Oh, another shot. Little clash of heads again there, but big shot over the top.
At this point, Omak does not want to start wrestling.
No,
he does not want to start wrestling. He wants to keep striking.
He's doing the right thing, maintaining distance. Big elbow again.
Askaraev calls his opponent in, but he's unsteady on his feet.
Oh, beautiful uppercut again, and this is the more calculated approach that we called for at the beginning of the broadcast, picking the shots, not just ferocity for the sake of it, but controlled, calculated aggression.
Omuk has a long time left in this round. He is planning to finish this fight in this round, Brave Nation.
Oh, elbows to the side of the dome from Kubanychbek.
Kubanychbek has a very clear runway to land now.
Has that wrist control, which is opening up the space for him, exposing the head of Askaraev. And he doesn't need to land knockout punches here. He just needs to land frequency high shots. Askaraev, much to his credit, is trying everything he can to keep himself in this fight.
Kubanychbek trying to pull his opponent away slightly so that he can sink down into mount, as you've seen there. The horrible thing about fighting Omuk is you're getting punched in the face no matter what happens. Positions partway there, punched in the face. Positions all the way there, punched in the face. Omuk got a little high, beautiful reversal.
Full half of a round. Slightly paradoxical to say a full half of a round, but you know what I mean, Brave Nation. Half of a round left, trapping the arm. This would be absolutely huge if Askaraev were to pull off the victory here. Thinking about switching to that stretch. Both of these guys are toughness incarnate, but Kubanychbek sneaks out.
Feel like I barely breathed there. That was an absolutely unbelievable moment.
Again, the tension is absolutely palpable here. The Uzbek fans are on the edge of their seat.
Brave Nation, we are in Uzbekistan. This is a wrestling culture. It is a combat sports culture. These fight fans know exactly what they're seeing, and they are deeply appreciative.
Nice shot to the midsection from Kubanychbek. Just sidestep his way to back.
Looking maybe for a one-on-one, use that leverage to bring the opponent back.
May lace up the legs here, may even just try and run it out to get into the fifth round. I think he may be feeling Askaraev start to tire ever so slightly, which...
Legs are shelved now. Askaraev trying to work that leg out without sacrificing the arms he's using to protect his head.
Has the hands connected, and he's just forcing Askaraev to carry his weight. Referee Dick Larkin calling for a little bit more action. And he gets it.
He's getting a little bit more action. Short time now, Brave Nation. Down to the last few seconds. No question in anyone's mind, Phil. Kubanychbek is now pulled. He is now up by at least 3 rounds. His opponent's corner knows it. Askaraev's corner has got to fire their man up. He did have a moment in the 4th round where he could have won it. They've got to remind their fighter to dig down all the way, try and find that moment again and then go crazy. Simply trying to win the round is not going to do it.
Deep into the final championship round. And as you alluded to, Kerry, the corner of Askaraev have to be telling him you need to go out there, give it everything you've got with your shield or on your sword kind of approach, because he needs to finish if he wants to be crowned the interim lightweight champion of the world. On the transverse of that, you just tell Kubanychbek, if you're in his corner, to adopt the same approach, keep things smart, maintain your positional dominance, your positional control, land your shots, and should an opportunity present itself, take it.
The one thing Kubanychbek does not want to do is change a thing. He is now dominating this fight. shaking the arms out, the fatigue in the arms particularly. It's hot out still. The television lights are absolutely brutal. Shaking that fatigue out of his forearms. One of these fighters is 5 minutes or less from interim glory.
For the final time tonight, these fighters embrace in the middle of the cage. 5 minutes to dictate who we will crown the interim lightweight champion of the world, setting himself up for an inevitable collision course with our champion Ahmed Amir. Takedown attempt, takedown scored by Askariev.
Askariev now needs to get past those legs. He needs to pass that guard. Ground and pound, not likely to win him this fight.
No, he needs to go to work from here.
Kubanychbek, happy to be here, trying to set up the beginnings of a triangle choke right now.
Smart with the bicep control as opposed to wrist control.
Wrist control often indicates what you're going to do. That bicep control could be misinterpreted as being purely defensive. As you said, Phil, very smart technical move there.
Askariev really needs to square off the hips, needs to be wary, getting his back taken again here. There it is, the back take. From being inside the guard to the back take, that is the MMA intellect of Abdisalam Kubanychbek.
Body triangles in place, leg is laced. Going to be very, very hard for Olyas Askariev to get out of here. He has successfully any number of times now. He definitely has it in him.
But quite simply, Kirik, survival is not enough for him to take the win and indeed the championship.
Kubanychbek now appears intent on securing a submission. He's throwing some little shots to the face, not to win favor with the judges, but to try and get his opponent to make a little mistake. Right now, Askariev is not. He's driving back. Brave Nation, if there's a little bit of space between your hips and your opponent's back, it's fairly easy, relatively easy to get that choke in. When the opponent is right tight up against you, head almost even with yours, it's very, you lack the leverage to get your full strength behind that choke, behind that squeeze.
He's doing everything he can to sneak it in. But Askariev, like, it's incredible that Askariev, potentially, if it continues this way and he loses the fight, he has enhanced his reputation on the international stage. Undoubtedly so.
Absolutely no question in my mind. Win, lose, or draw, I want to see Olyas Askariev again and soon.
More so defensive.
Again, Brave Nation, when that head, when the fighter who has his back taken has his head up nice and high, very close to his opponent's head, very hard to get the choke in.
Half Nelson, momentarily by Kubanychbek.
Kubanychbek has a mighty squeeze. He can go from...
Oh, Askariev once again turns in to Kubanychbek. This is incredible stuff.
Absolutely fantastic show of fortitude and technique.
But right now he has 1 minute 35 seconds with which to work, with which to finish Kubanychbek, with which to become the interim lightweight champion of the world. Can he do it?
He cannot do it inside his opponent's closed guard.
Needs to roll those wrists inside to free them up. There's one. But Kubanychbek surely knows that all he needs to do is hold on in this situation.
He may know it, but riding out a W is not his style. He's going to dance with the gal that brung him. And that was being a very aggressive fighter, aggressive wrestler, aggressive kicker, aggressive striker, aggressive with his submissions.
But both these fighters showing that they are absolute cardio machines.
Kubanychbek opened those feet. He could have stayed inside it. Now he's looking for a submission. At the beginnings of a key lock. He released it, but he's going to be looking for something else.
Oh, transition into side control from Askariev.
Very impressive.
Really needs to go to work with elbows or something here. Again, think Kubanychbek is just so smart, knowing exactly what he needs to do to shut down the offense of Askariev, to prevent him from landing those big strikes. Such intelligent work from Abdisalam Kubanychbek.
Very, very short time, Brave Nation.
There
we
have it.
That final beautiful gong.
Fantastic fight. Both men showed incredible heart, incredible desire, incredible technical ability as well. And we will inevitably go to the judges' scorecards.
All right, Brave Nation, what an incredible main event we had here. Give it up for both of these warriors in an amazing main event. After 5 rounds, we got the judges' scorecards. All 3 judges scored about a unanimous decision victory. And new Brave Combat Federation interim lightweight champion, Abdisalam Uulu Kubanychbek! Introducing your first warrior, Fighting out of the blue corner, this man's a mixed martial artist with a professional record of 15 wins and 3 losses. He stands 176 centimeters tall and weighs a ready 70.1 kilograms. Representing KHK, Team Bahrain, and fighting out of Dagestan, Russia, please welcome Kamil Magomedov. And now, introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, this man's a mixed martial artist with a professional record of 19 wins, 3 losses, and 1 no contest. He stands 178 centimeters tall and weighs a ready 70 kilograms. Representing Sport Club Ilas and fighting out of Bishkek, Kyrgyzstan. Put your hands together for the Brave Combat Federation interim lightweight champion of the world, Abdisalam Uulu, Kubanychbek. For referee instructions, it's the Bandit, Decky Larkin.
Big thanks to our sponsor, MTS, Brave Nation. Kamil Magomedov is in the black and red. Brave shorts, Abdisalam Uulu Kubanychbek in white and red.
2 top-tier talents in global mixed martial arts. This is a proper treat for the fans. So finely matched, both incredible grapplers. Magomedov, more of a submission specialist. Kubanychbek, a fantastic wrestler.
Kubanychbek known for putting a Khabib-level pressure on his opponents. Can be the wrestling, can be submission threats, can be kicks, can be punches.
Kubanychbek is tearing up that leg. Takedown, Magomedov. Good work to close this distance, but Kubanychbek doing a great job. Oh, beautiful work from Kamil Magomedov, triangling the legs.
Those legs are shelved tight right now. Kubanychbek can't get up, but it's going to hurt his face to do it.
Oh, he's aware of giving up the back.
Back tape.
You don't want to do that.
For a hook.
Magomedov does have 4 wins via rear naked choke. Oh, cheeky little fence grab.
Magomedov looking hard for a mat return.
Decky Larkin keeping a very close eye on proceedings.
Kubanychbek has his hips tight up against that fence, so the second hook cannot get in there. He's now trying to roll the hand over. He's got the bony part of his hip underneath those 2 hands. There's a solid, and he was able to do it. He's able to break those hands. Once he's successful with that, he'll look for an underhook.
Magomedov lets go of the leg lace. Oh, another little fence grab from Kubanychbek. Eats a big knee for his trouble. 3 times. Cage grab from Kubanychbek. I think if he does it again, Decky Larkin could take a point.
A point in a 3-round fight, Brave Nation, is a massive, massive deal. In a 5-round fight, it's a little bit less. Fighters need to listen to the referee when they're told no longer grab, no longer grab.
Again, to a certain extent, it is just instinct when you're in there, when you feel like you're falling to grab onto the closest structure to you, but you can't do it in MMA. Magomedov, heavy pressure. Almost scores a secondary takedown.
And here comes that quick reversal.
Nice work from Kubanychbek, now pressuring Magomedov up against the cage.
Beautiful giraffe fight right here that Kubanychbek is coming out on top. He's using that head to push his opponent's head off the opponent's hips.
Slowly trying to change levels, but nice work from Magomedov, raising that level of Kubanychbek, making the takedown harder.
Looking for the back now.
Fully traded positions now. Kubanychbek on the back of Kamil Magomedov.
Tables are turned.
Oh, nice back elbow from Magomedov.
Did not land clean, and unfortunately for him, it allowed his opponent to secure an even better grip from back. Kubanychbek now dragging his opponent down. Looks like it's sheer force, but it's a lot of leverage here. Kicking that base out, driving towards the hand, which is the weak link here.
Oh, again, trying to get that takedown. Both these fighters are so talented and so evenly matched. Again, taking longer pause for a break. That's essentially, in situations like that, I often compare it to what happens when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object.
Kubanychbek, I hope we get to see him up against the fence again. Kubanychbek was using nasty little heel strikes in the inner calf to unbalance his opponent.
Trying to wade in with the uppercut to close the distance, and again presses Kubanychbek up against the cage. Final 30 seconds of the first round. I'd say both fighters perhaps a little bit tentative in the first round, but it must be said this is the first of 5 rounds. Both fighters getting a little bit of a feel of each other, downloading data, so to speak. Magomedov trying to clamp down on that wedge. He's doing a good job not to be taken down. Big shots to finish him.
Hugely smart for Abdisalam Kubanychbek to throw those shots at the last second. I do believe that those judges may not have known who won that round with that last little flurry. He may have taken it.
Very evenly contested round, and as you say, Keurig, very intelligent MMA IQ there from Abdisalam Kubanychbek. Lands the big shots to finish the round. If there was a question mark about who won the round, Kubanychbek did something a little bit more forceful to perhaps give himself the edge.
I think by the tiniest fraction of a hair, Kubanychbek did win that one 10-9. Are we in agreement?
I would say so, Keurig. But again, I expect almost like a Muay Thai fight. I expect to see the tempo gradually rise in this fight.
Brave Nation, is very hard to communicate what a 5x5 fight is like. Hold your hands up in front of your face. Try it for 3 minutes, it's exhausting. Try it for 5 minutes, it's worse. Have somebody punching you and kicking you as hard as they can while you're doing the same. That's 1 5-minute round. These warriors are doing 5x5.
Abdisalam Kubanychbek takes the center of the Brave Arena. And again, trying to punch his way into the pocket, secure the body lock, and so far Kamil Magomedov has been showing great takedown defense.
Excellent defense from Magomedov. Put that chin into the hip, keep his opponent not upright.
Nice work to get the separation there from Magomedov. As sometimes happens when both fighters change levels at the same time. Kubanychbek is an absolute master of his craft. Such a spoiler. I mean that with the greatest respect. He prevents his opponents from doing what they want to do. Completely incapacitates them.
He is a master of relentless attack. It can be stomping on your foot. It can be heel kicking the back of the calf. Pushing with the head, looking for that back body lock, taking the back fully. If there's a separation, it's gonna punches and then boom, in on the hips.
And Keurig, for people watching that may not be practitioners of any kind of martial art themselves, but are fans of the sport, can you describe just how tiring this type of a fight is on both fighters?
I think luckily for both of them, Dickie Larkin separated them, but this is the greatest single test of strength in mixed martial arts. You put 2 people up against the cage, the stronger fighter is gonna end up pushing the other one.
Magomedov doing the right thing by re-establishing himself in the center. Needs to get his back off the cage. Doing well to move laterally. Magomedov Magomedov wasn't far away with a kick to the head, landed more so on the body, a little bit higher, would have been interesting. You can see Magomedov does not want to be a static target for any length of time, always moving. Big takedown, but can Kubanychbek keep him down?
Kubanychbek foregoing that shelving of the legs that Dagestani fighters essentially invented in mixed martial arts, trying instead to drag his opponent down, right from the side, land some punches to the head.
Magomedov doing a great job to get back to his feet, but the dangerous thing when you're fighting somebody like Kubanychbek, as soon as you get back to your feet, there's a very real possibility you could end up back down again.
Brave Nation, no single thing Kubanychbek does is completely devastating. It's the accumulation of them. Imagine you're outside, a single little hailstone falls on your head. It's not so bad. 5,000 of them fall on your head. It's so bad. What's going on right now is so bad. This kind of relentless attack is the very definition of misery.
Kubanychbek's getting ever closer. He hits the jab and then steps in with the uppercut. I think he's identified that Magomedov is changing levels to try and negate and defend the takedown. Nice side clinch, big knee right up the middle.
Phenomenal little switch to Muay Thai. Beautiful timing by Kamil Magomedov. Times that jump knee, puts his opponent flat on his back.
That is the issue with the more dynamic striking attempts in mixed martial arts. If it doesn't come off for you, usually you find yourself in the worst position.
Got a hook in. Kubanychbek is going to try and shake his opponent off.
Slowly trying to work for the rear naked choke. He's gone palm to palm on it. He's underneath the chin, I think, Kieran. He might go out there. This is deep.
There is danger. There is danger.
Kubanychbek is hanging in, but for how long? He might go out here, Kieran.
This squeeze is absolutely brutal.
Kubanychbek, he's surviving.
Oxygen, who needs it?
Wow. That was tighter than a duck's backside. Full mount position. What a way to finish the round for Magomedov. Oh, big elbows.
What a wild round, Brave Nation. Fights like that can be a little bit hard to score, but I'm going to call that one. 10-9 for Magomedov. Came very, very close with that choke and then finished it with a nasty elbow.
See, there's the uppercut that Kubanychbek was trying to land. And Kieran, Kubanychbek has been in an incredibly deep choke. How could that potentially affect him moving forward? Is he going to be more depleted? Because that choke looked so deep. I thought he was going to go out.
I think what he's going to have to do, Phil, is be just a little bit more careful. I don't think he quite appreciated the extraordinarily high level of submission skill possessed by Kamil Magomedov. He knows it now. He knows he was literally, Brave Nation, a split second away from going to sleep. Unfortunately, I think he's going to have to ramp back just a little bit on that relentless attack. Because in mixed martial arts, if your opponent knows what you're going to do, it is a big demerit against you.
Third round of 5, and what has been a fantastic main event so far. What has been a fantastic Brave Combat Federation show. Kubanychbek puts the pressure on right from the get-go. Also has to be said, we've talked about how much that choke took out of Kubanychbek, but how much might it potentially have taken out of the arms of Kamil Magomedov?
Brave Nation, there's a psychological effect where if you think you've got your opponent finished, whether it's with a submission or with strikes, you can actually expend so much energy and feel so excited that when that excitement is gone, your body's tired, it can leave you in a genuinely depleted state.
Reverse half-guard
It's going to be a scramble here.
Magomedov thinking about a knee bar.
Not just thinking about it. Oh, that is in place. The hips are too high they're off too low, too high, excuse me. They're just so close. Maybe a transition to a heel hook.
Oh, that's getting tighter.
The angle's not quite right again. Off by a couple of centimeters.
Oh, Kubanychbek is one of the toughest men in mixed martial arts.
A lesser leg would break right there. Scramble coming, who's going to end up on top?
Magomedov, triangle attempt. Magomedov did a great job to defend it. That's twice he's been close with submissions. Another big takedown from Kubanychbek. Really good fight so far.
Less than halfway through this round, Brave Nation.
Kubanychbek landing some big shots. Trying to open up some little pockets of space to advance his position. Has one hook in. And rolls. Body triangle. Very smart work from Kubanychbek.
This body triangle, Brave Nation, is tough on the conditioning. It's very hard to breathe in this position, and it's hard to escape from.
Magomedov does the right thing by rolling to the side that it's locked on, but then Kubanychbek brings him back to the other side.
Denied.
Lovely work to lace up the leg as well with his instep. And what a change in tempo this would be if Kubanychbek scored the submission.
Chokes on the chin right now. Hurts. Not typically a fight ender.
Nice work from Kubanychbek to reassert the triangle. And once again, credit to
Cranking that face.
Oh.
Just face squishing.
Can't be nice, but credit to the fans here in Serbia. Very well educated on the sport.
It's a warrior culture full of amazing people. Amazing kindness, amazing cuisine, amazing hospitality, and amazing fighters.
The Serbians, a great bunch of lads. And such a back and forth fight. If you are a fan of the purity of mixed martial arts, then you are loving this battle between the interim champion Kubanychbek and the challenger Kamil Magomedov.
Phil, I believe psychologically, Kubanychbek wants to try and sink the same submission. He wants to try and get that rear naked choke just to prove to his opponent anything you can do, I can do better.
Magomedov trying. Oh, he's got his finger inside the glove. Decky Larkin spots it. That's why he's one of the best in the business.
Brave Nation, you can grab the opponent's gloves, but your fingers cannot loop inside of it.
Right in front of us here in our broadcast position, you can see Kubanychbek slowly, methodically trying to work, trying to get bicep grip, but being well defended so far. He's never quite underneath the chin, more on the chin. Kubanychbek maintaining the dominant position, but Karen, you also have to ask the question of how much does holding that body triangle, could that potentially take a little bit out of the legs of Kubanychbek?
For a normal human being, yes. For Omar, no. Phil, I like Kubanychbek 10-9 in that round. You agree or you want to argue?
I'd be inclined to agree with you. I wouldn't argue with you because you've probably forgotten more about mixed martial arts than I could ever hope to know.
They've been close rounds each time. Round one, round two, I put a question mark. There's the first time. Even though it was extremely close, I did not put a question mark down. There was that was a close knee bar attempt.
Here we see the relentlessness of Omak in action. No single thing he does is devastating, but in accumulation, it's devastating. Phil Magomedov looking just a little bit more fatigued in that corner than his opponent. I think being in that back body triangle for a good part of the round left him feeling a little bit depleted. Kubanychbek looks hungry.
He's good to go, isn't he? Such a tightly contested fight we have here. Both fighters have definitely had their moments. You can make compelling arguments for either.
Brave Nation, we are now in championship rounds. We are now in deep waters. Doing what you're watching in front of you requires a whole nother level of conditioning. Kubanychbek believes, rightly or wrongly, that his condition is superior.
Watch out for the potential for a choke. Nope. Oh, Kubanychbek just effortlessly slips to take the back.
Beautiful back take.
Well, makes it look effortless. There's a lot of effort going on.
Looking for that mat return. Hard to get. He is trying to work that left leg in. That was a nice takedown. Not only did it destabilize opponent's balance, but it hurt that calf as well.
One hook in, trying to work for that other hook. Then with the reverse half guard position. Oh, there's
Scramble time.
Oh, great work by Magomedov to reverse the position.
Phenomenal scramble. Brave Nation, close fights are very often won in the scrambles, and right there, Kamil Magomedov, he won that scramble.
Kubanychbek trying to break the grip right now, doing the right thing. Magomedov doing a good job of attacking the legs when he's there. It may look like little shots, but the accumulation of those on the potentially tired legs of Kubanychbek. Again, reversal of positions here.
As we referenced earlier, Brave Nation, fighters fighting up against a fence like this is the purest test of strength. And we're seeing here who the stronger fighter is.
Good head fighting here from Kubanychbek. Trying to drop the level, may switch to a low angle. Oh, beautiful!
Little scramble there, could have been a submission attempt, could be another one.
Potential for a nice little up kick there from Magomedov.
I believe the knees were up just slightly as they are now.
They try and roll for a leg here. Trying to set up the triangle, Kirik.
Triangle potential here. Head has to be well controlled first or it'll be passed readily.
Smart pass from Kubanychbek. So evenly balanced. Kubanychbek riding a 12-fight unbeaten streak, dating all the way back to February 2018. 28 years old. He's only starting to begin to enter his athletic prime. Kubanychbek now working inside the closed guard of Magomedov. 90 seconds.
Kubanychbek's pace has slowed just slightly here.
We'll let him away with it considering it's the 4th round of the lightweight title fight.
Brave Nation, toes are not allowed to stick inside the fence. You can place the sole of your foot on the fence, but your toes are not allowed to stick through.
Kubanychbek right now just smothering the work of Magomedov.
One of the keys to this ground and pound, Brave Nation, is head positioning. Omak is keeping his head above his opponent's head. that's stopping a whole lot of techniques coming from bottom. That one sounded like a cricket bat on a watermelon.
Kubanychbek is completely unfazed by it. 30 seconds in our penultimate round. Another good up kick from Magomedov. Maybe trying to switch to an armbar. The arm's safe with Kubanychbek. Ground and pound being landed here again. Being definitive in the end of the round, Kubanychbek.
Magomedov has done a tremendous job of keeping himself relatively safe. Has not taken any big shots. But that approach to mixed martial arts requires your opponent to make a mistake that you take advantage of definitively. That has not happened. Let's, Phil, have a look at this replay that we're seeing courtesy of MTS.
Kamil Magomedov did a great job to reverse the position, but again, it's such a beautifully technical fight, Kirk. You see just how talented both men are, how high their MMA IQ is. Right now, Kubanychbek is potentially just edging it.
That said, the flow of play here was such that he cannot assume he's well ahead. He's got to go out there and fight this round as if winning this round will win the fight for him, because that could be the case. And he's got to dance with a Gallup Brungdom. He can't switch his game up. He's had very good luck the last 2 rounds with his usual relentless pace. He's got to keep it up, but he's got to be careful. If he makes a mistake for a split second, he can get tapped out, he can even get knocked out.
Potentially, and I'm saying this with my commentary head on, as I'm not judging the fight professionally here tonight, but Kamil Magomedov may need a finish if he wants to win this fight.
It would be wise for his corner to assume that and tell him to go for it. He's got the skills to do it, Phil. He's got an amazing background in Taekwondo, can throw kicks out of nowhere. His strikes are great, wrestling's great, and of course the submissions are supreme.
This is what he does not want Kubanychbek to do. Good separation from Magomedov.
Beautiful reversal. There may be a little bit an eye poke.
I think he might have slipped on some moisture. Not quite sure what the protestation was there from Kamil Magomedov.
Was not clear from our table. Deck Larkin told him to fight on, and they are fighting on.
Big takedown from Kubanychbek.
You'd said, Phil, being pushed up against the cage is not where he wants to be. Being pushed up against the cage when he's in bottom guard is even more so. Not where he wants to be. Wants to be looking for a stand-up here.
Credit to Magomedov, he's trying to make something happen to create the angle for himself. They try and work the armbar here.
I was getting close to an armbar.
But again, Kubanychbek just does not give his opponents any kind of space with which to work. Suffocating, draining game plan. Head-on triangle position, but too close to the cage. Magomedov trying to roll, trying to create space, but Kubanychbek sticking to him like white on rice.
Nice little hammer fist from bottom by Kamil Magomedov. As I said, he's keeping himself relatively safe, using brilliant jiu-jitsu, throwing a lot of shots from bottom, having luck with some of them. At the beginning of an armbar there, potentially.
Midway point of the 5th and final round. Trying to dive on that Kimura grip.
Kimura using the sweep. It can be used as a sweep, can be used as a submission, can be used to stand up.
Kubanychbek staying active, landing shots.
You wonder at this stage of a fight just how much.
Love Magomedov attacking from bottom. Actually giving better than he gets. Decky Larkin said avoid the spine. Brave Nation, imagine a cell phone. You run it all the way down the center of the back. That area cannot be hit. Kamil Magomedov wants to take that arm off, take it home with him. He's not successful thus far. Has had some great work with that up kick.
It really is do or die now for Kamil Magomedov. Needs to do something definitive, and by definitive I mean fight ending. He had his moments, but realistically for me, Kieran, the turning point in the fight was the rear naked choke attempt from Kamil Magomedov. As you say, sometimes psychologically when you feel you're that close to a finish, it's hard to refocus and get yourself back into that mind frame.
It happens with striking when you're ground and pounding a fighter and you think you finished him and you don't. Very, very tough to bounce back from psychologically. That's even more true when you get a submission, even more true when that submission appeared to me to be completely sunk.
Final 30 seconds in the championship bout. Kubanychbek on top.
Kudos, Phil, to both these fighters for the conditioning they're showing. They're still aggressively in here. 10 seconds now, Brave Nation.
Has Abdisalam Uulu Kubanychbek broken the lightweight curse? There's only one way to find out. Carrick, sum up that incredible fight between two absolute warriors.
In one word, Phil, wow. Those two warriors wowed me. We're now getting a replay courtesy of MTS. Once those hands, Brave Nation, are gripped together at the top of the hamstrings, takedown is almost sure to follow. And when you've got Kubanychbek on top of you, a ground and pound is sure to follow. But Kamil Magomedov throwing, I think he was throwing nastier knees from bottom than the punches he was receiving from top. And reviewed, Carlos Kramer is going to enter the Brave Combat Federation cage and let us all know who is the Brave Combat Federation undisputed lightweight champion of the world. Apologies for that brief wait, Brave Nation. But we got a lion stalking into the cage. Carlos Kramer. Make it official for us.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, what a fight for our main event of the evening. After 5 rounds, we go to judges' scorecards. Your first judge scores about 49-46. Your next judge scores about 49-46. And your third judge scores about 48-47. For your winner by unanimous decision, and still the undisputed Brave Combat Federation lightweight champion of the world, Abdisalam